Hello everybody, it's me, and today I'm going to show you these three pots, and then somebody in my last video asked me about what was I planning on doing about glazes, and so I'm going to just introduce some of my work, and then maybe talk about why I like these, right? And so right here we have like this, it's like called like a honey luster glaze, and it's really smooth. It really does feel almost like a butter, and I really just like that glaze. And uh, here we got this. It's like a spodumene. I got a couple images of this one, but it got like some pink qualities and some red in it, and then you can see some blue. And I think that this surface has little micro crystals, and you can see them better in this image. But it just blew me away, right? The amount of variation that happens on the surface, it's like a library is just all over the surface of some of these pots. This is another angle. You can see the blue a little bit better, and you can also see where the little tiny crystals are in some of the places where the glaze pools. And that's like a big thing about like my glazes is all about sort of it pooling and doing some interesting stuff. And that is why I really like this ash glaze. I mean, look at that drip. Could you imagine it on some of these pots? Like some of the ends of the tops of the trees just having like little glaze nodules of little glaze nodules of glaze. Yeah. But anyway, it's called like a mama white glaze, but I added it's just like a copper red over top of it, and I sprayed it in some areas, and it got like this purple ethereal looking color. And I think this would be good as sort of like a palette cleanser for some of the pots, just because they're going to be a little bit heavy on the form. This pot is almost the same. I think it actually is a very similar glaze to the one that I showed earlier with the blue and the red on it, but this is a different kiln firing, and I think it got a little bit hotter, but you can see this, it's very creamy, and the little spots where the clay body like peeps out from the iron in it, it just looked fantastic to me. And then here I have a split reduction, and this, I can imagine this on one of the trees in the future, and just like half of it red and the other half blue. And that's sort of that happens in the kiln, and if you don't know a lot about it, maybe a different video I can talk about like how these things are happening on these surfaces. This one I love. It's like this pink glaze and a metallic top, but I'm more interested into the pink glaze on the bottom, and when it gets really thick, it almost got foamy, right? And I just love the way that looked, and so I'm thinking that I would love to have almost like this foam spewing out of the bottom. And this is another iteration of the pink glaze, but a little bit thinner. The thicker, you can see it went foamy, but thinner, it's very smooth and buttery, almost like that honey luster. But yeah, everybody, that was like a speed round of my glazes, but a lot of my glazes, they're not necessarily like to make a pot, like they're not based from like the craft hobbyist thing. I mix all my glazes, and there's nothing wrong with like craft hobby glazes, but I think they lose a lot of like personality. And I think when I do these, I do a lot of reduction firings whenever I've done glazes. When I do them, I just love the outcomes, and I think that it's really honest to a lot of the pots. And I think I want the glaze to almost complete a form. I don't just want it to be a surface. And so, to answer your question about glazes, that's kind of it. Thank you so much for watching. All the best and strong mentality. Peace.